No one used that road after dark, not since the night the twins disappeared. Under the full moon, the dirt path curled like a sleeping snake, slithering past wild overgrowth and hugging the edge of a withered village where only 2 houses showed any sign of life. Lights glowed behind thin curtains, too dim to be welcoming, too warm to be real. You didn't go past those windows. Not if you knew the stories. Tun didn't know the stories. He'd just moved to the nearby town from the city, a researcher chasing rural folklore. He had a knack for finding places where myths hadn't died, only gone quiet. He was told by an old man in a marketplace about a road that hums under moonlight. It leads to an old house with one crooked tree, where no matter how many steps you take forward, the end never comes. The man had said it half laughing, but there was something desperate behind his smile. Something cracked. Of course, Tund had to see it for himself. He parked at the village's edge just after midnight, just before the hum began. It was so soft at first that he mistook it for the wind, a low frequency that fluttered through the tall grass like a whispered lullaby. He walked with his recorder on, noting the temperature, the silence, the unsettling curve of the road. The air smelled like wet soil and something faintly sweet. As he approached the house in the distance, the one with the 2 glowing windows, he saw the crooked tree beside it. It leaned unnaturally, like it had grown mid-scream. The hum grew louder. He stopped. His flashlight flickered. When it steadied, he realized something was wrong. He looked behind him. The car was gone. The bend was gone. The road was gone. Nothing but more dirt paths stretched behind him now, leading further into the unknown. His heart thudded like a warning bell. "It's a trick of the light," he whispered, mostly to the recorder. But he couldn't shake the sudden stillness. The frogs had stopped croaking. The leaves didn't rustle anymore. Even the wind seemed to hold its breath. The house was closer now. Somehow, even though he hadn't moved. Tun took a cautious step forward, flashlight trembling in his grip. The hum deepened into something rhythmic, almost like breathing. His eyes darted to the windows. Shadows moved behind the glass. He lifted the camera, zoomed in, but the lens only caught blurs, shapes that moved wrong, twisting, jerking. Then the door creaked open. Just a few inches. His breath caught. "Hello," he called out. No answer. He knew he should turn back. Except there was no back. Just the path stretching endlessly under the moon's pale glow. The hum pulled at him, coiling in his spine like a hook. He crossed the last few steps to the door. Inside, it smelled like damp wood and old flowers. Not rotten, just forgotten. The furniture was sparse, a table, 2 chairs, and a broken grandfather clock that ticked without hands. The air shifted, and he heard the sound of children laughing upstairs. He wasn't alone. He climbed the staircase slowly, each creaking board a scream waiting to happen. At the top was a narrow hallway with a single flickering light bulb swaying from the ceiling. The hum was stronger here, like it was coming from the walls. He passed a mirror on the left, and froze. His reflection wasn't moving. Tun stared. He lifted his hand. His reflection stayed still. Then it smiled. He stumbled backward. The mirror cracked. Behind him, a door slammed shut. Trapped. He ran to the nearest room, flung the door open, and stopped cold. 2 small beds. Neatly made. Children's drawings covered the walls, stick figures holding hands beside a crooked tree, beneath a too large moon. On one of the beds sat 2 dolls. Their button eyes stared directly at him. One of them began to hum. Tun backed out of the room, trembling. The hallway had changed. Longer now. Darker. The bulb overhead sputtered and died. He turned on his flashlight again, but the beam barely cut through the black. A voice called softly behind him. "You shouldn't be here." He turned. A girl, maybe 10, stood at the end of the hall. Pale, barefoot, her eyes glowing with the same sick yellow as the house's windows. I didn't mean to," he stammered. "The road doesn't end. It brings people here. We tried to leave. We tried to tell them." "Tell who?" "The ones who come," she whispered. "The house remembers. It keeps us here. It wants stories." Behind her, more children appeared, silent, watching. One of them pointed. Tun turned, and the hallway was now a tunnel of twisting roots and ash-covered walls. The house was gone. He ran. No direction. Just ran. The hum was a scream now. A chorus. It throbbed in his chest, cracked through his thoughts. He stumbled, fell, and woke up outside, back at the start of the road. The house was just ahead again. Lights on. Door ajar. He tried to scream, but no sound came. The recorder in his hand flickered on. It played back a voice, his voice. "I can't leave. I can't leave. I can't leave. And then the hum began again,